What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we are checking out the Barricade PR1 platform roof rack for hardtops, fitting all 2021 and newer two-door Ford Broncos without the OE roof rails. Now, if you don't take the Freedom panels off often and you would rather have additional storage for your Bronco, this full roof rack will allow you to do so for whatever adventure that you're taking or for whatever things that you need to take with you, large or small. It's a great choice for the overlander or camper who needs that extra room that the inside of the two-door simply just does not give you, especially if you're looking to carry larger items like sports equipment or even mount up a rooftop tent. Alongside the benefits of a platform rack, this one is low profile and sleek with other functional features, all while not costing an arm and a leg and being completely bolt on so you can preserve your precious hardtop. This will span the entirety of the roof from the mounting locations at the windshield to the back of the hardtop, allowing you ample space for whatever accessories, whether it's mounting up skis, a snowboard, kayaks, or recovery equipment like track boards, or even a jack for off-road, or even a tent, thanks to the 300-pound weight capacity. Now inside the rack, this is going to feature 6 wide crossbars here, and they're going to have universal style T-slots for mounting any or all of those items that I mentioned. And even if you're just strapping down something, the surface is going to be treaded, so it's going to reduce any movement of your cargo. Now, I do want to mention that I only have half of this on the table just because of the pure size of it, but you will be getting double this capacity or double this space as far as the platform is concerned. Now the rack will clamp onto the hardtop mount to the front, and what I think is notable is that it is going to have little support legs around the perimeter, which is going to distribute that weight evenly for a stronger system. Now it also has a front wind deflector, as you can see here, that's going to prevent any noise and whistling, and it also has light bar mounting brackets or accessory light mounting brackets, allowing you to customize the rack further for better lighting performance if you want to add it. This system is made of a lightweight aluminum, which is going to be great for a solid balance between the strength of the metal and the durability, with it being subjected to the elements and hazards, especially if you're off-road. But it's also lighter weight than steel, so it's not going to add too much to your build and help offset whatever weight that you want to put on top of it. Now, on top of the aluminum, to protect it from corrosion, is a tough black powder coat finish, which of course is just going to match with other off-road accessories and make the Bronco look a little bit more rugged. Now, as I mentioned, this is also going to be completely bolt-on, so you're not going to have to worry about any drilling or modification when it comes to your factory hardtop. This is about $700, and it's a great price for what you're getting out of this kit. One of the biggest features is the complete bolt-on construction, considering that a lot of full platform racks may require modification. This also has a full coverage design compared to other smaller choices and a decently high load capacity, making it a great choice if you need that extra space for your overlanding or camping trips or wherever else you're taking your Bronco and you want a reliable way to achieve it. Install is a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. It's pretty easy, but all said and done, it should take you about 2 hours to get this installed. Now at this point, we can head over to our shop, check out a detailed breakdown on how you can get this onto your two-door Bronco at home. So that is going to wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, 10mm wrench, diagonal cutters, 4mm Allen socket, and 10mm socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing a roof rack on our Bronco, so let's get started. Now the first thing we need to do is pop off these plastic covers at the top of our windshield. There's a tab on the back here that you can just push in and pop that off. And then we're going to remove these 2 10mm nuts as well as this black bracket. Now we can just wiggle this bracket out of place. And then do that same thing on the other side. Now we're gonna start on the floor assembling our side rails. I've got the passenger side here all laid out. We're gonna start from the front and work our way to the back. For all of these brackets that we're going to be installing, we're going to be using a carriage bolt with a flat washer and a lock nut on each of them. So now our front mount does have a P stamped on it for the passenger side. The other side would have a driver's side. We're gonna be using our rail here. We have this set of holes that's very close to the front here. On the rear, they're a little more spaced out. So I'm gonna grab a carriage bolt. I'm gonna put it through the bottom of the bracket with that square in the rectangular cutout, and then lay our side rail on top. Put a flat washer and a lock nut on there, and then do the same thing through the inside. And then you can just go ahead and evenly tighten these down with a 10mm socket. Now working our way back, we have our next bracket that we're going to be installing. We have a foam pad that's going to go on the bottom side of this here. So I'll peel the backing off of that pad, and I'll just line it up with the edge, just like that, and fold it down. And then we're going to take our carriage bolt and go from the inside out, and then a flat washer and a lock nut. Same thing for the other side. And then we're going to tighten this down, but leave it a little bit loose for adjustment so that we can move it up and down. So I'm just going to fully tighten this down and then back it off a little bit. And then there's 2 more sets of holes. Working your way back, you're going to do that exact same thing with the next 2 brackets. Now at the back, we have our rear bracket. This is going to be the same thing as the front. We have a P on there for the passenger side. So we're going to line up these 2 holes with these 2 holes. And then take our carriage bolt from the inside out. Flat washer, nut. And now, just like the front, we can just center this one up and tighten it fully down. And then we can flip this. We're going to be using the medium adhesive pad. We're going to line it up right on the edge here, and then fold it down and around. We'll flip it back over, and then we can take our hook bracket with the large adhesive pad. We're going to put that on the inside just like that. And then this is going to go on the back of that bracket with the same hardware. Carriage bolt, flat washer, lock nut. And then we can center that up and tighten it down. And then you can repeat that exact same process for the other side rail. Next, we can begin to assemble the whole rack assembly. Now we have this piece that's going to go in between our 2 halves. We have 4 threaded holes for our combo bolts. So we'll slide that in, connect both pieces, put all of our bolts in, and tighten it down. So now I'm going to slide this piece into that channel, and then thread a couple of my combo bolts in. You're going to do that same thing on the other side. I've already done it. So now we can connect these 2 halves together. And now with our pieces connected, we can thread in the bolts on the other side. And then we'll take a 4mm Allen socket to tighten all of those down. And then do that same thing on the other side. So now we can mount our side rails to our actual roof rack. Now we have this double bolt plate that we're gonna be using to do that. I've got this flipped upside down right now with our rails also upside down on top. The double bolt plate is gonna go through the top into the bottom, and then we have flat washers and lock nuts that are gonna be going on the other side. Now there's 6 sets of these. Every single one's gonna be the same except for the rear. In the rear, we're gonna put this plate through our rail, and then we're gonna put a spacer in between the rail and our roof rack. On the rest of them, you're just gonna put the double bolt plate in and then put your washer and nut on the other side. So now starting at the rear bracket, I'm gonna take that double bolt plate and drop it through the holes. And then we have a spacer that we're gonna put in between and then drop it through the holes on the roof rack. Then you can take a flat washer and a lock nut, thread that onto the stud. Do the same thing on the other one. And then you can take a 10mm wrench to tighten these down. And then repeat that same process, working your way forward without that spacer bracket, and repeat the whole process on the other side. So now we're at the point where we're ready to lift our roof rack up on top of the Bronco. The last thing we need to do before we do that is install these spacers onto the studs above our windshield. Now these brackets are offset. Obviously you want the thicker side towards the outside. It won't fit on the other way. And then do that same thing on the other side and grab yourself a buddy to help you lift up the roof rack. And now once you have your buddy, you can lift this up onto the top of the Bronco. Now once you have your roof rack on top of the Bronco, you want to make sure that your rear brackets are in this slot and your hardtop. Make sure that they're in on both sides before you go ahead and tighten down this bracket. And then once you have them both in, we'll take a 10mm socket and tighten down the nuts on the other side of here. And then do that same thing on the other side. And now working our way forward from the rear, we can come to our next bracket. We're gonna do the same thing, 10mm socket to snug these 2 down. We have 2 more on this side after this and the 3 on the other side. We can repeat the same process for all 3. So I'm just gonna push it down so it's sitting nice and flat and then tighten it up. And then repeat for all the others. Next we can come to our front bracket and install 2 of our flange nuts. And then tighten those down with a 10mm socket and do the same on the other side. Next we can install this edge trim to our wind deflector. We're gonna start on the edge, work our way all the way around. I've got a pair of diagonal cutters here just in case we have a little excess, we can trim it down flush. And now we have a little bit of overlap there, so I'm going to take those diagonal cutters and just make a cut there, and then press it the rest of the way on. And now we can get this onto the roof rack. So now we're going to lift up that windscreen up onto here. We have these studs with flat washers and nuts already installed into the rail. We're gonna remove the nut and the washer. Now I've already done it on the other side. And now we can raise this up into place. Slide it onto the bolts. And then you can thread that washer on. And the nut. And we're gonna go do the same thing on the other side, and then we can tighten these down. And then grab your 10mm socket and tighten all of those down. Now lastly, we can install our bolt on the front here. We've got a combo bolt going through the front into a flange nut on the back. Now it's a little tight here, so I'm gonna get that flange nut in place first and then thread my bolt into that. And then we can get a 4mm Allen socket on the bolt and a 10mm wrench on the nut. Tighten that down and do the same on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Barricade PR1 platform roof rack for hardtops for your 2021 and newer Bronco 2-door without OE roof rail. Thank you for watching, and for all things Bronco, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.